Okay, my G35 people, and to be honest with you, this probably applies to any vehicles that you possibly can put some extended wheel studs on. These are my rear hubs with wheel bearings for my 2005 G35. To make it even better, is I'm using the upgrade kit from Z1 Motorsports that uses not the 350 or the G35, but it uses the 370Z. And I'm assuming G37 rear hub. So what happens is this portion here is way beefier to handle, so it's just that much stronger. Whereas on my G35, it's slightly thinner, probably to that line there. That's probably how thick it is to that line there. But on here, they're just more beefier, so they're just more stout. But just to kind of get to the reason why, this is not for aesthetics, it's not for cosmetic use, these extended wheel studs. What happened is I have my OEM hubs still on my car, and they have extended wheel stubs. My car has been sitting up for a couple years now, and I'm just kind of re-going through the car from bottom to top, especially just more the bottom of the suspension. I got a new motor for it. It's a '05, and I didn't want to do the DE conversion. I just wanted to find a rev up replacement, but they were either A, very expensive, and they're very rare to come across compared to the regular DE. That I just didn't really feel like going through the whole conversion thing. But anyways, I found a used motor to replace. So I'm just kind of going through it, all the sensors, everything like that. And with the suspension, this is where we come into place with the suspension part. I bought the master kit from Energy Suspensions for all my undercarriage, for all my urethane bushings, to change out, including my ball joints for the front of my G35. This is where this Icon ball joint kit comes into play. Very nice kit. If I had to put an item tool-wise that at the top of my list in terms of the most benefit, aside of just basic tools, this has to be my next actual thing aside of basic tools to purchase. It was $169. It's Icon from Harbor Freight. Comes with all these accessories and cups. Pretty much everything you'd probably need to do any kind of ball joint or any kind of pressing of anything. And in this case, I had already pressed and did one of one side, one of my hubs, just to make sure all was good. But it is very beefy. It's very solid. Very great set to have. Of course, you got to be probably kind of mechanically inclined. Of course, I have my 1/2-inch impact right here. I think it's rated like 275 foot-pounds. So it's big boy. It does the job for me. It's a 1/2 inch, but anyways, I'd never used one of these kits before. And I said, you know what, let me just go in and get it, considering that I bought the master set of urethane bushings. I did go get a quote to see how much it was to change all my bushings, and they quoted me roughly about $1,200, and that's just because they had to remove the knuckles and the lower control arms and the upper control arms and blah 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 under the vehicle, and of course all the braces and stuff. So it's a lot. And while my car is apart right now, as far as the motor being taken out, I can't take it to a shop anyways right now. And since the motor is out, it's a lot easier being under there and having access to stuff without the motor being in the way. So while I'm working on the motor in the garage, I figure in between time, when I have time, I can take care of all the bushings and ball joints on the car. And this kit did it. As you can see, pictures right here that I'll be posting. These are some of them that I changed from my front end. I think I'm pretty much complete with my front end. I did the lower control arm, I did the compression arms, and I did my ball joints themselves. I did order, excuse me, I did order new sway bar end links, and then I ordered my outer tie rod ends as well. So my whole front end is going to be kind of all refreshed and all good to go. So with that said, this kit, like I said, work on plenty of vehicles, different accessories to pretty much attack any kind of situation you have. Come a ball joint, or have to press something in, or whatever that fits within the tool itself. So again, I already did one side, so as you can see the differences. The difference is here, and like I said, what it is my wheels. They have a really deep hole, and my lug nut didn't grab as much threads as I really wanted it to, so that's where here it would. I already have extended studs, but it would only grab like maybe this much by the time I put the wheel on, to where here it's grabbing that much. That's going into the actual lug nut itself. So just a little more safer. I didn't want it to have just a few threads grabbing while you're talking about rolling in a car that's doing anywhere between 0 to 90, 100 miles an hour in a sense. So that was my reason behind wanting to do this. Like I said, on my car, I already have the old hubs with extended studs. You can't reuse these studs, so they're just gonna end up being trash, but I wanted new hubs with new wheel bearings. Since I'm doing everything else, it's like I don't want to stop there and then have crappy old wheel bearings and hubs. But anyways, just to make note, oh, and here are the extended studs here. I got them on eBay. I think they were $22 for a set of 10, so I ended up having to get 2. The cool thing is the guy on eBay happened to send me an extra stud, just in case, I guess maybe if you mess up one, or if you need an extra one, or whatever it is later on down you had it. So big ups to the eBay seller there for including one extra, because he did not have to do that. But I will show you that link there. Of course, this is specifically for the G35. Of course, you'd have to do your homework on your own car in terms of the stud, the size, the thread pitch, all that stuff. So with that said, the upgrade here from Z1 Motorsports is a Hayaku brand. And I'm bringing this up because, of course, these are my rears, the ones that my axles are going to go into. I got a set of these for the front that from Detroit Axle. Not thinking anything of it. Not even thinking anything of it, because why would I? What happened was I got this and I knocked these studs out to change the studs on the front, and the diameter of this stud from here to there across is too wide. So it's like they have their own size. It's not wide enough to fit this stud in there. It won't press in, so I was kind of screwed, and I had knocked them out. So then I had to press them back in, and I'm just gonna probably end up having to sell them. Now granted, these would work fine if you were just throwing them on a stock car, or maybe a different situation come to your wheels. But the diameter for the studs are specifically for the OEM hub, and the way Detroit Axle made them is it's not as wide as the holes on here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sure you can. Yeah, you can. So the hole that they have here is wider than the hole that for this down here. So then when you have this portion here, it would not press into here because it's too small of a hole. So I was like, ah, damn it. So then what I'm gonna end up having to do is I'm going to have to get this brand, or make sure that they're OEM. Like I said, I didn't think nothing of it, because why? Why would it be any different sizes? Because when we go get studs, when you go get an OEM stud, if you had to replace an OEM stud in this thing, now you can't, because it's not wide enough. So it was just kind of weird how Detroit Axle did that. So I'm probably going to end up having to just sell these. Just to somebody that just needs wheel bearings, that they don't have to worry about changing studs or whatever it is. So that's the reason why I have this Detroit Axle one here. Like I said, this is Hayaku brand, and this is the OEM. This is how the OEM ones are in terms of the studs go. So with that being said, I'm going to drag out the video too long, because it's a very simple process. So let me go on and get the camera set up. I'll be right back with you so I can show you how this works real quick using this tool set. Of course, you can do this on the car. A little bit harder because you don't have as much space, but I suggest you just take these four bolts off for the G35 and just pull the hub out. And of course, if it's brand new, then just do it while it's out of the car anyways. And like I said, there's a way you can do it, the easy way, and then there's a harder way. But at the end of the day, they both can get done, whether you have this kit or not. It's just this kit makes it very easy where I can have these done in a matter of 5 minutes, all 5 studs. Compared to other ways that people are doing, putting washers and using the lug nut to pull it through and press it in. So like I said, either way they'll get done. So let me get the camera set up. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so I am back. So I hope it's within the frame here. Let's see. Should be. So let me get these out. 5 here. Okay, then this over here. And then when you knock these out, you're generally not supposed to use them because you end up damaging the threads. So, I mean, as long as you don't damage the threads, then you probably be okay. In addition, once you press these in, they kind of get pressed in. So they lose their strength in terms of pressing in. So it's probably not best to reuse these. So they're just probably going to end up getting tossed. Studs don't cost much, especially stock OEM ones. So no big deal. But like I said, I needed to extend it anyway. So with that being said, I'm going to knock these out. These back in the bag. Okay, so that is that. Get the hammer, I don't need that anymore. So, yeah, so this one, they have all the attachments that'll be needed. I think the one I ended up using was this attachment here that I'll put here. This will be the one that'll be pressing it in. And then I think I used this one. Yeah, this one to give it some length when I press it in right now. So what ends up happening is turn that over like so. I will put that inside there. Hopefully you can see on the camera. Put that there. And then use my, just to get down on it. So it's pretty much on it. As you can see right now, hopefully that's within the frame, but it's ready to be pressed in. So at this point, just go on and press it in. And that's that. Pull that out. And there's one. For the next one. Okay, next one. And that's 2. And see, with the right tools, you can get it done pretty quick and easy. All right, just like that. That's that attachment there. That's that extra piece there. Like I said, this kit does wonders. One of the best investments that I've made. And there you go. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, I do recommend that tool there. This point, and see, just like that quick, less than 5 minutes, and they're all pressed in. So of course, like I said, when they're out brand new, it makes it easier to do. And again, for those that do this, the Detroit axle, when you order the studs, they will not work on these. These are more just for their OEM replacement, and I'm not OEM replacement, but just a replacement that you don't need extended wheel studs. Where obviously Detroit Axle has their own measurements for everything. So the standard extended studs that they have out there with their ARP or some off-brand, aftermarket brand outside of that, they will not fit in these. I don't know if you're able to modify these. I wouldn't even bother at the end of the day. So this is just note to you guys that if you get the Detroit Axle, you cannot use these. You can't reuse these. You would have to get theirs, but they probably don't make extended studs for these because they're just supposed to be able to pop on to the vehicle and call it a day. But because my wheels, I needed extended ones. So again, the Hayuka brand, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to see if Z1 offers the fronts for these in that brand, because I'll know that my studs fit on the front. I'll just have to sell these ones that I gotten from Detroit Axle, and that is pretty much it. Didn't mean for the video to go out, but I just wanted to explain to you and then also let you know about those wheel bearings as well. So I will leave you guys at that. Again, go to Harbor Freight, $169, I believe it was, for this kit here. Of course, you got to have a good impact that'll get some power behind it. But you can use, just a ratchet at the end of the day. You can use that. It's just a lot easier having the big boy here. That can handle and push behind it. So that is pretty much it. I will leave you guys at that. Until next time, your boy C Moto, you know what it is. Peace out.